Lonzo Wilkinson is a dynamic retired principal, teacher, and coach, and he was recently named the new director of coaching at SKN Athletics. Congratulations on your promotion, Lonzo, and welcome back to Good Morning SKN.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to be here again.
Great to have you here as well. So how exciting is this for you?
Oh, it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to building track and field and take it to a different level.
Okay, good to know.
In your bio, it says retirement.
From teaching.
But not athletics.
No. From teaching. I was a teacher for the past 35 years.
35 years,
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
What got you into teaching, though?
well, it's a long story. I really wanted to be in ag science, farming, creating. And then I realized sometimes you have a goal in terms of producing things. And I realized it wasn't planned, it was children.
Oh,
And so I realized I was developing children to a level, and I said I was in farming, but in a different type of farming.
the children culture. I like that.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it
I like
eventually. Yeah.
And 35 years is a long time.
Indeed.
And you don't look it, to be honest with you.
Not at all.
Seriously.
Not at all, guys.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right,
I started very young as well too. So
yeah. Like most.
At what age?
I just finished with high school and went into teaching. Yeah, I was
Wow.
about 17 going on 18.
Exactly. So by the time you hit, some people retire at 25. By the time you hit 35,
Yeah.
So yeah, you're giving your age away. But anyway.
No.
Anyway, all right. So let's talk about the new position. Obviously, it's exciting for you. What are some of the goals that you have?
Well, I am looking to start to develop new programs within the schools. We feel that from a school level, the ground level foundation is important. Just like I'm teaching, you have to build a good foundation in order for the roof to be intact properly. And so that's what we're looking at, building the foundation, even from preschool level. And so you build that coming up all the way up to the elite level, and you'll have a program that you can follow. You have consistency, continuity of athletes, and building a program for the federation. So that's what I'm looking for.
I realize everything is being started from the preschool level now, even talks on financial literacy. Why the preschool?
Be honest with you, when you think about child psychology, they learn so much at that age quickly.
Okay.
And with the new technology, the children can actually lock your phone, unlock it, and all something you don't say no. And you put on password and they hack it, put it back on and leave it, you doing stuff now. So those are the age that they're tender, they learn a lot of stuff, and you can mold them in what you want. They're always saying it's difficult to bend an old tree.
Yeah.
And it takes a longer time to do it as well. So when you want to teach new skills, plus some of these skills in athletics you require flexibility. And once you lose that flexibility, it's gone, When we were children, we could have put our feet in our mouths. Try that now.
Different kind of putting foot out there.
Okay.
Different kind of deal.
Definitely.
All right, so let's talk about some of the specifics. Organizing training camps. Is that something that you're planning to do?
Yes. Training camp is key. And what I have to do first is one, look at my resources and what's available. And so I need now to reach out to coaches, see what level they're at, see who is coaching, who is not coaching, get them back in the system, maybe even get newer ones as well. I think that's one of the most important thing, because people move up, people move on. And so the thing is to get new coaches in the system. One thing I'm looking at is to start educating at least one person, all the primary school and preschool, at some level of coaching kids athletics, and start there. So when you have their school sports there, the preschool sports there, they have an idea in terms of what skills to pass on to the children, and move from there. So that's what I'm looking at. So it's the whole foundation, not just athletes alone, but coaches. And people, fail to think that you could deal with the athlete, but if you forget the coaches, then there's going to be a gap. Just like with teaching. Your laptop for the children, you have your laptop for
That's a sore point from me, but hey.
So if you help the athletes to develop, the coaches are needed.
Yes.
I can't cover all those areas, so I have to ensure that I have a staff and person who would help me with that program. So it's a big task, non-payable, but I love sports, and so it's something you love. And when you love thing, it doesn't feel like a work. It just feels like
yes.
Yeah, it's passion.
Yeah,
It drives you.
yeah.
That's it.
So you also have the pleasure of dealing with competition, or liaising, I should say, with competition and division athletes at home and abroad.
Yes. So one of the things is we have athletes out there in college. We have elite athletes out there who are training. There are some athletes out there who maybe have grandparents from St. Kitts that we are not aware of. So my job is to go and seek those persons. Yeah, because we're small in terms of population, some people are overseas. And in order to maybe to build a good team, you have to find out who's out there, who's available, track them on the college level, say, hey, that person, that name sounds familiar. I wonder if this is his son, grandson. And then you find those person, you pull them a part of your team. And you develop that team. I remember this Bridges Lawrence. He was in the States. He used to play American football. We won in track, and we actually got him a part of our real team, and it helped our real team to move forward back then because we needed that fourth person to finish that team.
When you say team, just for Olympics or otherwise?
Team in general, whether it's Carifta, whether it's Leeward Islands, world level, Olympic level. Olympic is the pinnacle. The pinnacle for a level that we need to go to.
All right, so let's talk about some of the highlights. Obviously, you're hitting some of those nails on the heads right now because you're reminding us of Carifta, you're reminding us of other things. What are some of the highlights that you think of when you think of the younger athletes and their trajectories?
Well, right now, initially, Carifta is the things right now around the corner for us, right now around the corner. And so we have to get our team prepared for Carifta by the 10th of March. They have to be ready. Final team by that time. So we have to now start selecting a squad, looking at the times, see who can make it, who can't make it, and pick the team from that, and then get them ready for Carifta during that time. That's our first main goal. There are a lot of different junior meets this year. There's a Commonwealth Youth Game under 18. There is a Pan Am under 20. And there's a CAC Games under 18 and under 20. So this year is about those categories. And there's World Championship in August and Pan Am Games in October. So for this season.
Full year.
Yeah, so full year for that. And then next year, Olympics.
Olympics.
Right around the corner, yeah.
Oh, so you've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. And so development takes time. And I want people to understand that a minimum of 3 years, you should see some progress, maximum 5. As it pertains to individual, there's a theory that says you have to put in at least 10 years work for an individual or 10,000 hours of actual training. I think we lose that here in St. Kitts. People just want to do a half an hour and figure that they're good with skill, but you have to put in the hours in order to get to that level. I don't know if you watched the movie with Serena and her thing, how the dad trained them twice a day to get in those kind of hours at a young age. And so the more hours you put in, you develop as fast as possible at a younger age versus you're 25 and you're just reaching that kind of pinnacle. So
exactly,
that's something we have to look at. And our parents here in St. Kitts are children, they're like, hey, no sports, come, schoolwork. But we have to teach children to balance both. Because when they go off to school with a scholarship for sports or anything, they have to learn to balance those. So we have to teach them at home before they go abroad.
Who are some of the athletes that you would have worked with, and who are some that you're working with now?
Well, some of the athletes I've worked with over the years would have been Kim, Jason, Antoine, Vijay, Lestrade Roland, Alistair Clark, Tamika, Virgil, Tiandra, Tanika Libel from Nevis, you name it.
You've worked with them all.
Yeah, I've coached for about 25 years now, since about 9.
Wow. And he's still this young.
And he's coming. You know what the impressive part of this, though, when we talk about the coaching qualifications, and it's quite a list here. I can't go through every. I wish I could, but okay, let me pick a few, and you tell me what you remember about these. All right, so the 1996 to 1997 IAAF CECS Level 1, Level 2 sprint hurdles.
Yeah. The funny thing, I was running back in 95, still running, competing. and I pulled a hamstring, and it was really bad. And then when I tried to get back in running, Kim Collins came up, and I was running, and I think he
whooped you.
He fell. I didn't go in because I still had the pain in the hamstring, and he fell, and actually get back up in a 60 meters, and passed everybody after that. And I scratched my head and said, "Hey, leave it for the youngsters." So I went into coaching. And then the lecturer then said, "Hey, you need to follow coaching. Leave the football alone," because I used to love football as well. So leave the football alone. Coaching can take you places, and then I started to follow it up, and I taught the course here, the level 1, and then but a year after I went to do the level 2 in Puerto Rico, and then after that I moved up to the level 3, then the level 4, then the level 5, and just had the passion for it afterwards, and just started moving from there afterwards. So it takes a year to reach to those levels. Eventually, after reaching level 5, they realized that, hey, we need lecturers within the Caribbean to coach coaches. Because all the lecturers come from Europe, and it costs you. So they figure if each region have lecturers, then they could just go around, make it easier. And so the lecture coaches came up to lecture coaches. I went, I did the level 1, then I did the level 2. So I'm a level 2 coach lecturer as well. So if you have to do a course in saying it's a level 1 or level 2, I'm able to do that. Craig Connor would be the other person, but they're level 1, and Rota Johns are level 1 lecturers as well. So the different levels 3 and 4, you'd have to go overseas, whether it's to Puerto Rico, Santo Domingo, or maybe Europe, get it done.
Quite an accomplishment.
Yes.
Lots of accomplishments.
I realized in 2020 you had to do a refresher for the long-term development in sports and physical activities. I didn't realize refreshers are in sports as well.
Yeah, it's important because technology, times, everything change. Whether it's every 5 years or every 10 years, things change. When you see things one way, by 5 years from now, you realize, hey, you're making some mistakes, you have to make some adjustments. And so you have to do refreshers. And one of the things that I think we're suffering from here, people are like, hey, I know it all. And we're saying, hey, things change. Concept that you think about change. Remember back in the day, all the sprinters was big and buff, and Bolt changed that. Bolt said you could be slim and trim and things. So you have to look at all that. Stride lengths and science, you have to look at the science of the whole thing. So everything is science. See, you guys have pad, you'll be having notepad now, but you have in your hand. And so the only thing that coaches are using now, video taping, looking at the dynamics, breaking down the athletes and say, hey, this is what you need, this is what you don't need. But we used to offer pure strength back then. And so you have to do refreshers. And that is something I want to encourage our coaches to do. Yes, you're at level 3, level 4, but you have to do a refresher to see what's the latest things out there, the newest technology that you could use to help your athletes as well.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, so we're moving on to talk about your track record with the national relay team. Yeah, here's one. 2013, semifinalist at the World Championships in Russia. You remember that?
Russia. Oh, Russia, Daegu. Which one? 20?
Well, you tell me, it was you.
In Russia.
Oh, that one. Yeah. 2013 in Russia, we had a real team there together, and we were poised and doing well. The team was psyched, and we said, hey, once we come together and we're one team, it was a term that Jason came up with: one team, one dream, one speed. That's what we thought about it, and we like it. And that's what we said that every time we went up there, and we did our country proud. And that's something I want to get back to, have our relay product. That when you look at TV, you could say, yeah, I know we have a 100-meter runner here and there, but our relay product, we could sit and look at that. That could take us a long way. And those athletes who cannot make the individual race, they can shine at that level as well. So that's what I'm looking at. So it was a real fantastic race for the guys.
Listen, hearing you say that, I can't wait to turn my TV on and be proud of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah, again,
in those competitions.
Yeah. In 2011 is when we get our first international goal in Daegu. It was a bronze medal. I don't know if you remember that race. We were actually in lane 1, and the guy's like, oh, lane 1, so much curve because it's tight on the inside. And Kim said, no, I won my medal at World Championship in lane 1. Nobody saw me. And that inspire the guys. And we went out and we just ran. And at the final leg, Great Britain, USA, everybody tumbled over each other right in that section. We got third.
Look at that.
We got third. And since that is a mindset as well, and that's what athletes have to understand. So once we got third, we had that spirit that, hey, we can do things.
Yeah.
That year, we went to Mexico, Pan Am Games. And Mr. Bridgewater said, hey, we have never won a Pan Am medal before. I need a Pan Am medal. Came over with us, and he ran the 100 meters. He came second. I think he pulled a hamstring, so he was off the team. Because he was what we needed to make that happen. And we just shift the team a little bit, and we actually got second in the thing. We came second to Brazil. America came third. And so it was a big achievement for us. And from that, we just started moving on from there.
Nice.
Yeah, and by 2012, we went to England for the Olympics. We got to the semifinals, but we had our national record was done that time as well. So even though we didn't get any medals, we had a national record at that time.
That's good.
Listen, I'm excited about sports, just listening to you, honestly. I'm very excited about sports. Well, you know what? I mean, our conversation is to know you done, but in your position as director now, what can the public expect from you in our final moments?
Well, in the final moment, the first thing I have to look at right now is our character squad. I have to get that ready. It's kind of late, but better late than never. And I want to get our squad together and make sure that we have our best team that we could put forward. We have a few athletes that are overseas that are character age, and so I'm looking at those as well. We have a former athlete, I don't know if you know Marvin Bennett. He has a son that is running real well, and so we are looking to incorporate him in the team as far as possible. And any other athlete that is out there that could be part of our team. We are ensuring that we have athletes from Nevis and St. Kitts at the same time, and give everybody a fair opportunity to make the team as far as possible. I've selected the coaches already to work with the team. And so as soon as possible, hopefully by next week, parents will be informed that your child is part of the squad, send them to train, and we move from there. And then after that, we would look at the other games coming up.
Okay.
But one thing I really want to start to look at for this year would be the development of athletes and coaches, start getting them to some level of coaching. And so start our program now. The next 3-4 years, we could see that reward. The other thing that I've started, because of the passion, the real team, I've spoken to our association and in conjunction with the Olympics, and try to rebuild that 4x1 team that we had back then, and see if we can get that product going as far as possible. We still have Jason running, we still have Lestrade. I know Anton have retired. I'm hoping maybe if he's still running, because the last time Kim had retired as well in 2000, and I'd asked him to come back, and we thank God bless his soul, he came back and he worked with us, and we did well. So that's what I'm looking at, how it's possible.